of the 20 local government areas. A statement by the governor's chief press secretary, Mr. Kunle Shomori, has it that the appointments are made in furtherance of the administration's inclusive approach to governance. The release adds that the development will also boost the Building Our Future Together agenda and deepen democracy. Also, it is to improve local government administration and bring governance closer to the grassroots. The new appointees are Honorable Tajuddin Ishola and Dr. Olawale Bello for Abeokuta North, Ayodeji Michael Shomide and Olalekan Kayode for Abeokuta South, while Lawal Adewale Wasiu and Abiola Bakari are for Ado-Duota. In Ewekuru, Emmanuel Olumuyiwa Babayemi has been appointed the liaison officer. Fatai Akombi Rahim and Akinjide Adebayo for Ifo local government. Ni Ogunfadebo Ijebu East and Bayo Adekoya for Ijebu North. Others include Town Planner Odumola Shegun for Ijebu North East, Ijebu Ode as Sulaiman Oduwole, Bayo Oyekoya is for Ikene, Chief Olushola Okeimeko Afon, while Alhaji Kabir Abiola Abolurin and Ganiyu Ayibola are to serve as liaison officers for Ikpokia local government. The governor also approved the appointment of Mustafa Fatai for Obafemi Owode, Semiu Bola Lawal Odeda local government, Odogbolu as Obafemi Onankoya, and Tunde Dia Okuoga Adeyinka is for Ogun Waterside, while Abiola Ogundeko is to serve as liaison officer for Remo North. Other appointees are Honorable Benga Banjo Barua and Bello Adeshina, Aziz Arule for Shagamu local government, Mr. David Tunde Bankole and Alhaji Lukman Akinyemi are for Yewa North, while Yewa South as Akim Adenle Obanla and Tunji Dowu. The appointments take immediate effects. For a long time, Nigeria was under the dark boot of military rule, which reduced the rights of the citizens to that of a subject. Whatever democratic space there is today, Nigerians, especially the pro-democrats, suffered and fought for it. In this special report, Ronke Adeyemi looks into the downturn democratization struggles and its shaky stance in the present Nigeria. Our report.
Democracy may be as old as the times of the Greek and Romans, but in Nigeria, democratic rule has only been consistent for over 2 decades since the military handed power to civilians in 1999. It is also a well-known fact that Nigeria's march to constitutional democracy has been one marked by anti-colonial struggles, crisis, coup, civil war, economic depression, and overwhelming corruption. However, the concept of democracy remains deeply rooted with supreme power vested in the people and exercised by them.
When a man can choose freely, do what is right in your mind, that's taking a decision. When you can take a decision, I mean, just imagine you take a decision about your life, you'll be happy with the decision you have taken because it is completely your choice.
If you don't want democracy, then you want dictatorship. June 12 struggle is for the actualization of the freedom of the people to determine who will rule them. And the military annulled that victory, and the Nigerian people rose up in unison.
In many countries, Nigeria inclusive, skepticism of representative democracy is tied to negative views about economic condition, but citizens need to remain optimistic for a better democracy.
We are now 23 years old in this business. You get better, you get more matured, you get, as you are doing it every day, you will be improving, you will be falling, you will be growing, you will be standing, you will be moving, and then your whole environment will be changing, So that is the best one, there's no doubt about that.
And however imperfect Nigerian democracy might be, leaders and citizens have the obligation of performing their civic duty.
It has been tested by some well-developed countries, and they find that it's working. It is working. For now, for me, that's the best thing we could do. At best, the people will have their say.
I'm not saying that the situation is perfect at this moment. It is not. But for me, like I did say just now, I believe that the worst of democracy is better than the best of the dictatorship. But gradually, when we continue to work at it, we're going to have a society that really deserves a decent society where everybody's right, is given to him, where without knowing anybody.
Respondent also reaffirmed that civil society should be reanimated and the military reorientated so that it accomplishes its primary assignment of protecting the territorial integrity of the nation rather than governance. Aderunke Adeyemi, OGTV News.
And now to Oyo State House of Assembly, which has removed the Deputy Governor of the state, Rauf Olaniyan, from office, having found him culpable of allegations of gross misconduct leveled against him. The emergency sitting of the 25 lawmakers, including the Speaker, out of the 32 members of the House, the report of the 7-man panel set up by the Chief Judge of the state was read by the Majority Leader, having concluded their investigation on the alleged gross misconduct against the Deputy Governor, Rauf Olaniyan. The panel, in its report, recommended that Rauf Olaniyan was culpable and guilty of the allegations based on the evidences from a contractor who allegedly paid some amount of money from a contract, some approved to him by the state government, and evidences of refusal of the Deputy Governor to attend official engagements assigned to him by the state governor. The panel also confirmed that the Deputy Governor neither appeared before the panel nor sent any representative. The House adopted the report of the panel and moved for the removal of the Deputy Governor. The House therefore approved Adebayo Lawal, the running mate of governor for 2023 elections, as the substantive Deputy Governor, after considering a correspondence from the executive to fill the vacant position. In the meantime, the sacked Oyo State Deputy Governor Rauf Olaniyan has faulted the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Muta Abimbola, over the constitution of the 7-man panel which recommended his removal from office. Olaniyan, in a statement by his lawyer Afolabi Fashanu, alleged that the panel raised investigative the allegations raised against him was paid to do what they did. Describing that panel as a charade, he said it would not stand the test of time. He said it was unfortunate that the panel members allowed themselves to be compromised and used to do a dirty job. And now back to Ogun State Council of Obas, which will hold its statutory meeting on Wednesday, 28 July 2022. Venue is the Conference Hall, Obas Complex, Okemoson, Abeokuta, beginning from 11 in the morning. A release by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Kolawole Fagbun, stressed that only invited permanent and rotational members are expected at the meeting. The Ogun State government has expressed confidence that there would be improved examination system worthy of emulation with the introduction of digitalized process known as Ogun State Education Revitalization Agenda, the platform as well as prompt release of learners' results. Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, who made this known during the 2021-2022 promotion examination monitoring exercise to schools in Ijebu Axis, revealed that this year's examination has been adequately prepared for and well coordinated. Arigbabu pointed out that part of government's effort to ensure maximum level of preparedness for the exercise was to put in place its own examination processing unit. The commissioner, who expressed his satisfaction at the smooth commencement of the examination and the organized sitting arrangement of the learners, promised that government would continue to provide conducive learning environment for teachers and students to thrive.
What we have been having in the past, we can see improvement because every year we continue to improve. This is also an improvement on what we had last year. And we will also, at the end of this exam, come up with some post-mortem and then be able to improve on it. The intention is to ensure that we have a robust examination system that will be emulated by other states.
In our remarks, the principal, Our Lady Apostles Secondary School, Mrs. Kemi Oshodi, said that the schools have put in place the necessary measures for seamless conduct of the examination. Some of the schools visited in Ido-Ijebu axis were Luba Comprehensive High School, College, Muslim Girls High School, Government Science and Technical College, School for Children with Special Needs, and Our Lady of Apostles Secondary School. Still on education matter, as the ongoing strike by Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, enters its 6th month, the National Universities Commission, NUC, has lamented the effects of the strike on the students, Nigeria's economy, as well as the reputation of the nation's universities. Executive Secretary of NUC, Professor Abubakar Rashid, speaking at the opening session of the 2022 Management Retreat with Vice Chancellors of Nigerian universities, organized by the Commission, tasked the Vice Chancellors to ensure that universities fulfill their primary roles and mandate. He specifically said they must take up the challenge through competence and resolutions. Professor Rashid said NUC was determined to promote dialogue and constructive engagement with critical stakeholders to see a crisis-free university system. The retreat, he explained, would identify and support ongoing efforts by the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, the Federal Ministry of Education, and other stakeholders in ensuring stability and put an end to ongoing strike in the country's public universities. In another development, the National Universities Commission, in partnership with the National Open University of Nigeria, has trained some vice chancellors and other officials in the university system in development and the use of electronic management dashboards for effective governance of universities. According to a statement in Abuja, the training was concluded after 12 weeks and had in attendance vice chancellors of universities and other principal officers. Addressing newsmen, Professor Emeritus Peter Okebukola, who is the Director, Facilitator General of the Virtual Institute for Capacity Building in Higher Education, VICBHE, the platform for delivering the fully practical and fully virtual training, said the participants were trained on skills to set up governance dashboards that could uptake stream data in real time for effective planning and management of their institutions. He noted that this is in the continual effort to build capacities of staff in the Nigerian university system in the implementation of the blueprint on rapid revitalization of university education in Nigeria 2019-2023, which is rather the Rashid Revolution. He added that now is providing the technical platform and technical expertise at no cost for now to participants, while resource persons for VICBHE modules are experts drawn from all over the world. Still ahead on our news, Kano State government bans tricycles operations after 10 p.m. We'll bring you the details of these and more after this short break. Do stay with us.
One of the reasons why I started Munira, I wanted to make people feel good about what they wear. I lost my dad in 2008.
The day when the man died, I don't want to remember. School fees called the adults. Things you know called go for me too.
My journey with MTN started in 2014. I remember the night I told my mom I had gotten the scholarship. It was midnight. I went to the room, I woke her up and I said, I've gotten a scholarship.
So happy. Neighbor Week.
The tagline for the YEDP program was "Turn It Up." The funding has helped me turn my dream on. My ambition is to be successful, impact lives, and generally just make people happy.
Time waits for no man.
Governor Dapo Abiodun has appointed liaison officers in each of the 20 local government areas of the state. A statement issued in Abeokuta on Monday by the governor's chief press secretary, Mr. Kunle Shomori, said the appointments are made in furtherance of the administration's inclusive approach to governance, boosting the Building a Future Together agenda and deepening democracy. It is also to improve local government administration and bring governance closer to the grassroots. The new
Time waits for no man, or so they said. That's why you set goals and set your minds to achieving them. Because somehow you believe that one day your time will come. So through the highs and the lows, the good days and the not so great ones, you never stop thriving, hustling and showing up. Because you know, even if tomorrow is not guaranteed, at least you've got control over today. But it's not enough to believe it. You've got to live it too, with the right partner by your side, providing you with all the support you need to forge ahead and reminding you that now it's your time, not tomorrow, today. Today is yours to create greatness, to achieve your dreams, to reach your goals. And with FCMB, today is yours in every way. FCMB, my bank and I.
We're glad to have you join us again. Parents have been urged to be patient while dealing with their children for proper upbringing and growth. Wife of Ogun State Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun gave this charge while hosting this year's Ileya Kiddies Festival held in Ilaro area of the state. Our reporter Adebola Oshomoji tells us more.
To appreciate God for his continued protection over the children and not to let go of the Ileya festival without celebrating them. Wife of Ogun State Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun has again shown her commitment to their well-being as she feted children drawn from the 20 local government areas of the state. The event, held at the Palace of Olu of Ilaro, had in attendance the political officers, where children were urged to encourage their parents to exercise their franchise in the coming general elections. Wife of Ogun State Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, who was represented by our special advisor Mrs. Folashade Ogundairo, encouraged children to keep the tenets of Islam as they grow up and also be obedient in their daily dealings.
Remember the teachings of the Holy Quran in this season on appreciating the gift of life and being understanding and tolerant of those around us. Those and many more are values and lessons we should always carry with us. Your lives should be good examples for others to follow. And I want you all to ensure that you remember how special you are and how promising your future is. Obedient to your parents, teachers and elders, and say no to violence and bullying, and continue to be excellent in everything you do.
The event featured quiz competitions, games and other side attractions, with the distribution of gifts provided by the First Lady. Adebola Oshomoji, OGTV News.
Bearing all unforeseen circumstances, the 512 pilgrims from Ogun State to Mecca will start arriving anytime soon after successfully completing their Hajj rites in Saudi Arabia. The pilgrims appreciated Ogun State government for making the trip a success with good organization, which made their stay in the Holy Land worthwhile. Ahmad Nuruddin Adebule, who is also in Mecca, visited the Ogun State Hajj camp, and his report is presented from our studios.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is a country on the Arabian Peninsula in Western Asia, and it is the 5th largest country in Asia, the 2nd largest in the Arab world, and the largest in Western Asia. The country is home to Mecca and Medina, the 2 holy cities in Islam. Every year, people converge on these 2 cities for Umrah, which is a smaller pilgrimage, and Hajj. About 512 from Ogun State performed the pilgrimage this year, and they described their experience as worthwhile.
The reaction from the people observing us here is that the disciplined pilgrims in this year's Hajj is the pilgrims from Ogun State. We give God the glory for giving us that opportunity. We thank Him for His favor and His assistance.
Few weeks after the completion of the Hajj exercise, it is now time for the people to start leaving the Holy Land for their respective homes, and Ogun State pilgrims are very ready to be airlifted.
We thank Almighty Allah for the success of this Hajj operation, and I'm using this medium to commend the state government for the support given to Ogun State Muslim Pilgrim Board.
We really enjoyed our art operations. The organizers from Ogun State made our stay worthwhile.
From health to other operations connected to the Hajj exercise, the pilgrims appreciated the Ogun State government for a good arrangement.
Nigeria Hajj Commission, when they visited Ogun State pilgrims at Mina, gave us a thumbs up. We commend Ogun State government for choosing the best to direct the affairs of this year's Hajj operations.
All things being equal, the pilgrims will be arriving in Nigeria soon.
Women empowerment is the bane for any self-sustaining society, and this is because the empowerment translates to empowering the nation. This was the submission of the chairman, Ijebu East Local Government, Honorable Wale Adedayo, who also doubles as the one leading the Afenifere movement of the local government during an empowerment program organized for the people of Ijebu East Local Government. Runke Adeyemi reports.
Skills acquisition has proven to be the road leading to developing entrepreneurial ability and building self-reliant young people. In recognition of this, the Afenifere movement of the Ijebu East Local Government, months after putting selected candidates through skills acquisition, tailoring and hairdressing, is graduating and empowering them with necessary tools. Leading the Afenifere movement, Chairman Ijebu East Local Government, Honorable Adewale Adedayo, described the need to meet skills acquisition with empowerment as a means of protecting the livelihood of indigents.
Unemployment is high. My belief is that it's not just a question to train people to acquire skills. When they acquire the skills, what about the tools of their trade? You train them. If you don't get them the tools of their trade, then you've not done anything. So we've trained them and they have the tools of their trade. End of story.
In their goodwill messages, stakeholders lauded the initiative.
Concerning this empowerment, although this is not his first time, he has started this since 2005, and he has done a lot of empowerment for the hairdresser, tailor, and so on and so forth. At least for the record, I think he has more than 100 students for this empowerment.
Sewing machines, air dryers, trolleys are few of the equipment given to 26 students across the local government, and beneficiaries describe the empowerment as one that will linger in their mind in years to come.
Getting something like this is like a dream come true. and I appreciate the organizers for recognizing someone like me. I'm extremely happy getting this sewing machine.
The movement also promised continuous exercise of the empowerment as well as scholarship to best 5 graduating students to higher education from Ijebu East local government. Aderonke Adeyemi, OGTV News.
We now move to Kano State, where the government has announced a prohibition of the operations of tricycles, popularly known as a die-data show, from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. with effect from Thursday, July 21, 2022. A statement issued by the Commissioner for Information, Malam Muhammad Garuba, confirmed that a decision to that effect was reached at the end of the state security meeting. He said the measure was part of an effort to ensure the security of lives and property in the state. The Commissioner urged tricycle riders to comply and stop operating at the stipulated hours, as security agents would enforce the ban without compromise. The ban on tricycles have been adopted by certain states such as Lagos and Kogi to curb the activities of armed robbers and other perpetrators of nefarious acts. The uncontrollable hike in the price of diesel has attracted mixed reactions from Nigerian business owners on how business enterprise can be sustained in view of managing the cost of production, while some are of the opinion that prices of goods and services should be increased. Others thought that laborers should be paid based on man-hour, while all forms of wastages and unnecessary expenses should be eliminated. Tiwalade Faisal in this special report examines the chances of business sustainability in this period.
Statistics have shown that Nigerians are high consumers of diesel, just like every other country in the world. Considering the epileptic power supply in Nigeria, business owners have relied heavily on diesel, premium motor spirits, liquefied gas for energy generation over the years for production and manufacturing of goods. Therefore, making survival of businesses to rest solely on daily use of diesel and other alternatives. Alhaji Abdul Rahman Mako itemized the importance of energy generation to manufacturers while sharing his feelings with the business community at large.
Definitely it has been affected and it will continue to affect. But my fear is that for Nigerian populace to be able to cope with this development. And you know, if diesel price is on the high side, it also affects the price of other petroleum products. So it definitely is affecting businesses, it's affecting the economy, and when that trickles down to individual economy, it will also be affected.
Sir Jare Oyeshola, a businessman, highlighted the challenges that accompanied the hike and also gave advice on how businesses can be managed. He also appealed to stakeholders to prefer alternative solutions to the problem.
We should have so many mini grids. Every local government could have a grid on its own, produce its own power and sell, and let its people be able to produce. So when that, the demand for diesel will come lower, because a lot of the power that we are using will then be dependent on gas and water and other forms of energy that will be producing in mass, instead of individuals having generators, either diesel or petrol.
Experts claimed that statistics available indicated most businesses are on the verge of closing down with prices on the high side, but cautioned that wastage should be minimized to the lowest. It is also imperative that if government fails to take drastic steps in curtailing the trend, there's tendency that the unemployment rate is bound to shoot up.
Ability to limit the number of employees and make sure that those that are on ground, they manage the resources effectively. So wastages should be curtailed as far as possible, yes. So the emphasis now should now be on how do I curtail wastages in my enterprise. And every entrepreneur that is able to curtail wages to a minimum will be at an advantage. But presently things are not all that easy.
The way it's going now, we buy it 800 naira per litre. Diesel is now 800 per litre.
what we initially buy 200 and something per liter. How do you want us to survive? We can't use this now. We can't use generator now, because by the time you use the generator to add the value on your product, it will be too expensive, and it will scare the customer away in buying those products. And at the end of the day, you will continue stocking. When you are tired, you stop the production. By the time you stop the production, what will happen? Then you have to go home. You have to ask them to go home. Then you fold up the plants.
Of importance is the adoption of multi-grid system as a means of energy supply in Nigeria to reduce the demand for diesel, avoid soaring inflation, and business closures as the problem is global. Tiwalade Faison, OGTV News.
With the Naira to dollar exchange rate standing at 615 Naira to $1, the downward slope of the Nigeria's currency and its attendant effect on the economy has no doubt become worrisome to many. Different reasons have been given as the cause of the problem, and this special report focuses on the solutions to the free fall of Naira. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
I want to buy now.
That is the case with the Nigerian currency as the exchange rate continues to fluctuate and take downward slope despite many efforts by the Apex Bank to control it, resulting in multiple regimes. The high prices of goods and commodities, low standard of living, and poor state of the economy have been the outcome of the weak condition of Naira against major currencies of the world, which has been generally blamed on the low production capacity of the country.
What we are consuming in this country is more than what we are giving out. And when you have such imbalance of payment or negative balance of payment, you can't but experience what we're experiencing in Nigeria. You now have to say, why am I taking more from China? Because I can't produce. Why can't I produce? I have the population. What is this deficiency? And I said, energy, or let me say cost of production, is the challenge.
The situation is highly pathetic. And I won't even know, I cannot even answer that question. Where did we get it wrong? I would say it is a sort of misplaced priority. We have left certain things undone, which we should have done. And there are so many things we are doing that we should not even have ventured into.
Agriculture is the way out for us. So our government should do all that they can do, to make sure that everybody goes back to the farm. Youths are not lazy, but it is because they are not gainfully employed.
Improvements in infrastructure leading to an improvement in productivity, prioritization of agriculture, reduction in the cost of governance, reduction in borrowing, and good leadership are identified as some of the way out of the precarious situation.
Now, when we borrow, and we're not saying you cannot borrow, what do we use it for? If I cannot see the effect of borrowing on the common man, you get it? Good road, whereby a man like you will ply the road, our vehicle is okay. If I can't see the effect, I see it as just borrowing to waste.
If we have our own refineries, the money we spend in processing this crude oil, the money being paid by government, our subsidy, will not be there. Let's go back to agriculture. Well, government is trying, making efforts to return people to the farm. But do we have equipment? Do we have money to support?
As the hardship continues to bite harder on the people, the need for something urgent to be done to reverse the downward spiral of Naira has no doubt become imperative. Matthew Shomi, OGTV News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, in Delta has said 7,408 driver's licenses approved in 2021 were yet to be collected in the state. The Delta Sector Commander, Mr. Undeme Eshiet, made this known in Asaba. He said that the Corps would collaborate with the Delta Board of Internal Revenue to make the process of collection easy and quick. He said having a valid driver's license gives motorists the legal backing and confidence to be on the road and saves them unnecessary embarrassment. Eshiet said that the command would intensify a campaign on the need for drivers to have their licenses while on the road. The sensitization will also be targeted at awakening the consciousness of the motoring public on the penalty for driving without a valid license. Coming up next is business news.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. The price of crude oil climbed above the $100 mark on Sunday, hitting $101 per barrel after trading around $98 per barrel since Tuesday, as oil marketers in Nigeria maintained an increased pump price for premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, higher than the approved rate. Industry figures seen on Sunday showed that Brent, the international benchmark for crude, moved up by $2.06 or 2.08% to close at $101 per barrel. However, figures from OPEC showed that the country had produced more crude in April this year, as its output at the time was 1.219 million barrels per day. The appreciation in crude oil price on Sunday and fluctuations in Nigeria's oil production came as oil marketers across the country maintained the hike in the pump prices of petrol at the filling stations. Nigeria generated a total of 91,000 megawatts hour of energy on Sunday, 17th July 2022, improving by 5% compared to 86,000 megawatts hour recorded in the previous day. This is according to information from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. In the same vein, power supply increased by 4.8% to 89,000 megawatts hour on Sunday from 85,000 megawatts hour sent out on Saturday. This implies that 98.62% of the total power generated was sent out to distribution companies. It is worth noting that despite the increase, electricity generation and supply in Nigeria is still crippling below the minimum 105,000 megawatts hour of electricity required to record stable power supply in the country. Workers below 40 years under the contributory pension scheme rose by 73% at the end of 2021 to 86.4% by end of the first quarter of 2022. The National Pension Commission disclosed this in its quarterly report on age and gender distribution report for quarter 1 2022. According to PENCOM, this showed that the scheme had an increasing sustainability level. The report also showed that male contributors dominated the retirement savings account holders list. It stated that analysis of new registrations on the contributory pension scheme for the quarter ended 31st March 2022 showed that 86.4% were below the age of 40 years. And lastly, on the business segment of the news, after several years of not granting licenses to new insurance and reinsurance companies, the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, has given reasons it granted FBS Reinsurance, ES Insurance Life, and General Enterprise Life. It suspended issuance of new licenses for over 10 years. The Commission said it decided to grant licenses to companies based on the profiles of the people behind them and the success rates. The Commissioner for Insurance, Sunday Thomas, who made this known to reporters in Nairobi, Kenya, noted that the Commission would continue to encourage the development of the insurance sector by ensuring that capable players are welcomed into the sector. Thomas said the Commission would grant license to more insurance and reinsurance firms that show and have capacity to impact the underwriting sector. And that's the size of the business segment of the news. I hand you back to Idowu for the rest of the bulletin.